Hello everyone, Voodoo here, and I'm here today with a video going over updated sims, but more importantly, the brand new Fel-Scarred single target build. Now, if you watched me raid test last week or saw any of the videos I posted over the weekend, I did talk about this build a little bit, but I want to touch on it more in depth today and look at more updated sims as we have a better APL, still a work in progress, and I've also done a gear list, which means that we actually have more reasonable gear for the new season. So much more new sims this week. And I want to talk about the new build. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We are pushing for 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you're tired of me saying this, we're close, I guess. And liking and commenting also helps spread the video. So with that, let's get on to it. All right, so without getting too crazy on it, these are the sims. So you can see by the name of this build what's about to happen. But we have two sims here. We have one for Aldrachi Reaver, and we have one for Fel-Scarred. Both are undersimming a bit due to double dipping bugs. This one, Reaver's Glaive still double dips on Thrill of the Fight, and this one there's like a bunch of things that Burning Blades doubles dips on that's just like it's just not in the sim because it's a bug, but it sticks around. Anyway, so both are under simming, so keep that in mind. But realistically, this is a early snapshot at our single target damage for next tier. Now neither of these have embellishments. Maybe some more work to be done with the gear as well, some more optimization there. And Aldrachi Reaver is mostly fine, but Fel-Scarred for sure needs some more work with its APL. But one thing you'll notice here, just before getting into it, is that Annihilation, very, very high, right? 20%, Burning Blades, 20%, Chaos Strike, 8%, Death Sweep, 3%, Blade Dance, 1%. In total, you cast Death Sweep 18 times and Blade Dance 7 times, for a grand total of 25 times in this 5-minute fight. What does that mean? Well, that means that this is the build. So this is the brand new highest simming single target build for Havoc Demon Hunter. And oh boys, it's a doozy. So the build idea here is that we basically have pushed ourselves to the point where Chaos Strike is a much better spender than Blade Dance is while you're in Immolation Aura, right? Because the tier set here, wow, this is a crazy tooltip, but the two piece for the Fel-Scarred tier set is that Immolation Aura does 30% more damage, and while it's active, Chaos Strike also does 30% more damage. And when you combine that with Burning Blades, which is a 50%, well, more than that because it double dips on things, but it's a like I think 65% increase or whatever. It's a strong increase to Chaos Strike as well as a few other things. You have stuff like Improved Chaos Strike, which is 10%. You have stuff like Serrated Glaive, which is just 15%. You have stuff like Relentless Onslaught, which is just basically 10%. You have Essence Break, which also buffs Blade Dance, but is an 80% for 4 seconds. You reach a point where, hey, I mean, like, Blade Dance is just worse to push than Chaos Strike is. And that's kind of where we are here. So this build is the best single target build, but it doesn't mean it's going to be better than Aldrachi Reaver in a lot of fights. I think off the top of my head, there are 3 or 4 pure single target fights where you'd play this. The rest of them, you'd play some combination of either Aldrachi Reaver, or some kind of Fel-Scarred even cleave build, maybe for the Soul Hunters fight. So right away, sky is not falling completely. But if you are someone who thinks that Havoc should be pushing Blade Dance on cooldown, you might not like this. So this has arisen because of the tier set, right? Like, you put enough buffs into Chaos Strike and eventually it surpasses Blade Dance. And this is what's happened with Vengeance as well. The entire season, entire like expansion basically with Spirit Bomb, they basically don't push it. Now, there is more cooking to be done with this fight, with this build. We've reached a point where we actually don't even want to use I-Beam in meta. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. So we use one with Essence Break, and then we just don't use it again until meta drops, because Shadow Destiny with this build, by the way, is a 4% damage loss. So you kind of hate extending meta, which is really funny. So there are some weird things going on with this build. You use Death Sweep to extend your meta, which is actually kind of a cool tech. You do push Blade Dance still. You push it when you don't have Immolation Aura up. You push it to proc Demon Surge as well. You also, like, it lets you extend Demon Form a second longer, which is kind of a cool tech, honestly. But, you know, it's a very Chaos Strike focused build because Blizzard has decided that they want to push Chaos Strike to the fucking moon. And here it is, right? Like, Chaos Strike is in the moon. You use Death Sweep at the end of your Demon Form to buff and get an extra like thing, but you still use Blade Dance. Now, having played this build, I don't think it's that bad. I think it could be very easily fixed if Blizzard doesn't like this by just making the tier set also give like 10-15% to you can't see that, 10 or 15% to Blade Dance while Immolation Aura is up. But you know, kind of this is where we are now. I do want them to change this tier set. The 4-set soul is horrendous. I've already done a video on it. It's even worse than I thought it was. It just needs to go. But as the time I'm making this, that's still around. So yeah, really interesting build. Honestly, you play for Immolation Aura uptime. Immolation Aura does like 18% of your damage on single target. A lot of that's because of Isolated Prey, because it'll always crit, which means it does a ton of damage. Rage Fire is 4% of your damage, which is also a lot. And just in total, like, you know, it's a lot of damage. So that's cool there. You can like pre-cook Rage Fires for ad bursts, but realistically, outside of one single target, you probably won't play this build, especially with the you know, Aldrachi Reaver funnel and stuff, right? So interesting stuff here. Right now, we're not really holding meta Immolation Aura for any windows or anything. We're just kind of using it for uptime. And you only use Blade Dance to proc Demon Surge, to extend Demon Form, or if Immolation Aura is down. So very interesting thing there. Looking at Aldrachi Reaver, nothing too crazy on this side, right? Like it's mostly the same. Gear's a little different. So if you look at the HTML report here and go down to stats, which I will look for Fel-Scarred in a second as well. Go down to stats, we see that roughly like 50% crit, a lot of crit here. Some haste, some verse, some mastery. If we go back to this one here, Fel-Scarred, we'll see that it's much more mastery and haste focused, where you don't have as much crit, right? 43% crit, a lot more mastery, 20,000 versus I believe like 13,000 or something like that. I scrolled all the way at the top for some reason, versus 17,000. So actually not too crazy of a difference, but you know, a bit. And then like 11,000 haste versus like 8,000 haste. So stats are different between the two, but like not to a crazy degree. This one still uses C4 and Pacemaker. This one uses one of the new trinkets, Sizzle the Cosmic Hunt, which deals honestly pretty good damage. And it's like an execute trinket, which is kind of cool. And then both use Araz's Ritual Forge, which is a crazy trinket. It's an on use that gives you like a ton of stats. And yeah, I mean, like realistically, do I think this is a problem? Not really. I don't know. Having played it, I think there is some interesting things to be done with like the rotation, where do you use Immolation Aura here? Do you not? There's the stuff with extending Demon Form, which I think is a fun little bit of optimization for skill, like a skill ceiling. Obviously, you're not playing the movement stuff, so people might love or hate that. There is a cook we have where we might actually drop Chaotic Transformation and find a way to grab these talents. We're not there yet, but we're like working on it. So that could be a thing. And then of course there's also like, this is just unchanged. This is the same build. Again, we'll probably play Exergy. It's easier, but roughly the same damage, slight loss. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think it's a big problem. You will play the other build a lot in the raid. This is not a Mythic Plus build. We're pushing Blade Dance there still. So I don't think this guy's falling, but I definitely think that there's a chance this gets touched, and I'm gonna be so mad. I'm recording this at 7:58 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. If a build drops, I pushed it back so late because I thought a build would come. If a build drops fixing this, then this video is useless. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what this number means relative to other specs. To my knowledge, no other specs have sims yet that I've seen. So shout out to us, I don't know, Demon Hunter simmers, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to update you guys. I'll link these down below. No Blade Dance build is good in single target. Oppenheimer's good in cleave. Both builds look very strong. They're very close together, as you can see here. Yeah, that's about it. Well, I just realized I recorded an outro and I didn't even have my thing recording. So take 2 here. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I just want to do a quick little video here to talk about the updated sims, as well as just talk about this build a bit. There's no actual footage of me playing. Maybe I'll throw some up in post. I don't know. If I don't, who cares? But if you do want to see footage of this, go check out the raid testing I did over the weekend. There's videos of that, of course. The PTR is just kind of down as of me recording this. I'm just busy tomorrow, so I couldn't push it any further. But yeah, I mean, like, again, I don't think the build's that bad. You still use Blade Dance, like, not as much as you could, but you still use it fairly often. Obviously not in cooldown, but pretty often. As long as the Immolation Aura is not up, you still use it. Very easily could be fixed by just putting a small Blade Dance buff while Immolation Aura is up. Again, we'll see if they do that. That might be too strong on cleave. I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, like, realistically speaking, again, you're only gonna play this on maximum like 4 bosses in the raid, unless the single target is like crazy high that it outvalues some of the cleave you'll be dropping. But like, it still has some cleave. And again, you're not doing this in Mythic Plus. Both builds are very close for both raid and Mythic Plus, so that's great, honestly, in my opinion. So I'm hopeful they actually don't do much about this because I want build optionality. I want the ability to play multiple hero talent trees in one season, but we'll see what happens with that. Again, no build has been posted at the time of me recording this. We'll see if that happens or not. But yeah, so those are the builds. Just want to do a quick video letting you guys know about them, telling you the updated sims, stuff like that. Things, again, will be changing more. Sims are not done, but I will link these down below for people who wanted to see them and poke around and stuff. So there you go. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Happy 4th of July to the Americans in my viewer base, except for those who think Canada should be a state. Boo. And yeah, I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys on Monday with a new video. Peace. A big thank you to everyone watching my videos, but especially to my channel members. Thank you, Alexander Trifunovic, Rukaza, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, Jorge Polanco, Matthew Barr, Zuligan, Chocobo Merc, Gabriel Correa, Matchman 133, and Falafadar Dark Terror. Thank you so much to everybody. If you want to join and support me in making videos, consider following the link below. I will be adding more perks to this over the summer as I get more time, including log review, which isn't available right now. But again, I do appreciate everybody just supporting me and watching the videos. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Peace.